tumakbo sa fast break.
Well, nakita nyo yung ating primary protagonists. Now you're looking at our Supreme Court for tonight. Art Herrera, Noel Kilingen, and Guard Chief Ferrer. And Nick Velasco starts the scoring with that TM3 mula sa pinalakas sa TM. Power to the people. Nick Velasco with only 3 points back in Game 1, although nanalo ang Alaska. Sa bola po ng Purefoods, sila yung nakapula. They are starting off with Paul Artadi, James Yap. That's the lightning and thunder combo of Purefoods in the backcourt. That's a miss by James Yap, and Raimundo Evangelista and Yi complete the starting lineup. As Cariaso will get that easy layup against Paul Artadi.
Well, yun ang sinasabi natin, yung opportunities of Alaska, few and far in between, ano, yung kanilang fast breaking points that will help Jeffrey Cariaso with his confidence level, and of course Alaska with their fast break points.
Cariaso had 11 points in that Game 1 victory for Alaska. Here's Artadi. Artadi fires, no go. Here's Cariaso. He scored a basket moments ago. He fires and he connects. Back-to-back baskets para kay Cariaso.
Now he's going to be a marked man. He will be a man-possessed. Alam na si Jeffrey Cariaso, once he hits his first couple of shots, yung kumpiyansa niya will make him shoot and make those shots.
Here's Evangelista. The veteran makes his move inside. Drop pass para kay Yi. Well, that was bound to happen. You had two red shirts standing beside each other in the shaded lane. At yun. So, tulad ng inaasahan, may tinawagan ng 3-second violation.
A lot of hesitation on these two players who had the chance, of course, to shoot the basket from 5 feet away. Pero nandun yung depensa ng Alaska.
Kami po ay nagagalak na makasalo kayong lahat ngayong Miyerkules ng gabi. Iko Halili kasama si Peter Martin. Dominic Boy. Peaches Abilin.
Yung laban niya.
I certainly agree with you. Bagamat talo ang Purefoods nung Game 1, it's not a loss na yung bang tipong parang you're going back to scratch. You're going back to square one. Because when you look at the numbers, dikit naman talaga eh.
Dikit talaga. Yun na nga yung sasabi natin, 19 more attempts because of turnovers and rebounds. And that's where they thrive. And this guy will also help them thrive in the three-point shot.
So sa wakas, nasa scoreboard na po ang Purefoods, courtesy of that TM3 mula sa pinalakas sa TM. Power to the people. Here's James Yap once again. Yap on the move. All the way for two. May kasama pang foul.
Hacking foul number 22, Jeffrey.
Si Cariaso ang tatawagan ng foul. Kanyang unang personal foul. Check out that sweet move from the pride of Escalante Negros.
Eh, makikita mo yung spin move, ano? Very hard to do because your motion is going really fast towards the basket. Good timeout by Coach Ryan Gregorio. And they might get, well, they will be in the ballgame with 5 points already, courtesy all from James Yap.
And just like that, the Chunkee Giants chop the Alaska lead in half. Aces up by 5 with over 9 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Sonny Toss is asking for the basketball against Raimundo. Now he provides a pick for Velasco. Velasco nowhere to go. Outside Cariaso. For the shoot para sa Alaska. Cariaso, titira niya na to, and it's good. What a start here for Cariaso.
Oh, para 6 points already in the ballgame. Jeffrey Cariaso, 3 for 3. Wala pa si Willie Miller dyan.
Willie Miller stole the show back in Game 1 with that scintillating fourth quarter performance. In the meantime, bola na kay Artadi. Artadi pinasa kay Richard D. And Richard D also had a sensational game for Purefoods the last time around. Tinapos lamang itong Purefoods, but Richard D had 20 points in a losing effort.
Oh, really big contribution by Richard D. As you see another TM press from Nick Velasco.
I tell you, Alaska is on target. TM3 mula sa pinalakas sa TM. Power to the people. 9 points para kay Velasco here in the opening quarter. And you really want to see Artadi become more aggressive, show more confidence in his game, because this young man, he can play, no doubt.
2
free throws para kay Artadi. Si Mike Cortez ang tinawagan ng foul, and Cortez really Artadi's nemesis back in the UAAP. You notice itong si Artadi, si James Yap, and even Richard Yee. Looks like they spent a lot of time in the salon. Lahat sila may kulay sa buhok. Pati si Pingris. Well, kanya-kanyang pahiyang yan.
Well, if it works for them,
I know it's not going to work for us.
especially for me.
Ikaw nagsabi niyan. I know it's going to work for this gentleman that I'm about to introduce. Let's bring in Mr. Dominic Uy.
Thank you, Miko. The Alaska Aces starting out the semifinals very well. At meron silang slogan for this journey of theirs for a championship, burn the boats. Ito ang ginagamit ng ancient Greeks before when they used to conquer other nations. Ang ginagawa nila pagdating nila sa shore, they used to burn their boats as a sign of dedication na laban kung laban. Parang ang ginagawa natin dito sa PBA, Miko.
Very interesting historical report from
Holding foul number 4, Paul Artadi.
Burn the boats. It's big sabihin and there's no looking back.
walang uwian yun. Pag sumugod, sumalakay ka, wala nang uwi-uwi, di ba? You burn the boats para
14 seconds.
patay na kung patay, di ba?
Oh, tapos yung boat na ng kalaban ang gagamitin mo. Pero kung hindi mo napatay yung kalaban,
Hindi mo makukuha yung boat nila.
that's a good slogan for Coach Tim Cohn and the rest of the Alaska Aces.
Number 1, Mike Cortez.
Cortez picking up 2 early fouls here in the opening quarter. 7 points ang hinahabol ng Purefoods as we near the 8-minute mark of the opening quarter. Here's Artadi zigzagging inside. Hindi may pasa kay James Yap. Here's Yee over to Evangelista. Evangelista goes right. Bounce pass. Artadi will not connect. And that basketball ends up with Velasco. But there's a steal by Kid Lightning. Artadi on the move over to Richard Yee. Yes!
Typical Purefoods Chunky Giants basketball coming from a good play coming from Paul Artadi. And of course, Richard Yee had the same spot where he got the 2 points a while ago.
5 ang abante ng Alaska, 15-10 here in the opening quarter. Toss over to De La Cruz. De La Cruz bangs into Evangelista.
Blocking foul number 7, Ray Evangelista.
Former
That's his first
defensive team member, or all defensive team member, gets tagged with the blocking foul. Pangatlo yun, laban sa Purefoods. Here's Cortez. Cortez, tough shot. Off balance, no problem.
Oh, that's a really tough shot from Mike Cortez. I think the Purefoods Chunky Giants wouldn't mind him taking more of those, ano? Kasi hindi na talaga yung degree of difficulty na medyo mataas.
Ito ang inahabol ng Purefoods. Mahigit 7 minuto natitira sa opening quarter. Bola na kay Raimundo. Yung kanyang pasa na tapik pero nakuha ni Artadi. For the shoot para sa Purefoods. Titira na ni Artadi. And they will give Artadi that shot all day long.
It's as if they're daring him to take the shot.
Here's Toss.
Tony De La Cruz.
De La Cruz never gave up on the play for the putback at 9 points ang abante ng Alaska. 6.5 remaining in the opening quarter. James Yap for 3. De La Cruz with a rebound. Alaska threatening to build their biggest lead of the ball game. Here's Cortez. Cortez on the move. Nabangga near the free throw line and the foul is spotted by Noel Kiligin.
Medyo masama yung loob ni Mike Cortez.
Foul number 7,
Could have
Ray
thrown up a
Evangelista.
shot to get continuation. But instead, it was a pass ball.
Substitution,
Referees.
Willie Miller for Mike Cortez.
Mike Cortez, who has 2 personal fouls already, will be relieved by Thriller Miller, Willie Miller.
Si Roger Yap pumasok na rin sa ating laro.
Yan, lamang na lamang ang Alaska sa
Hindi
rebounding.
pa pala pinapasok si Roger. He'll have to wait for his turn. So here's Cariaso. He fires and he won't connect. Raimundo grabbing the basketball with 2 hands. Here's Artadi. Artadi on the move. Artadi over to James. Lightning and thunder strike inside the big goal.
Matagal na nilang ginagawa yan yung dalawang tandem nila, ano?
UE connection.
Oo. Still here to the pros, they're still together.
Somebody knocked Tony De La Cruz to the
This is foul
ground.
number 28, Richard Yee.
Against Richard
That's his
Yee.
first. 5 on the Purefoods Chunkee
So
Giants.
Purefoods now hitting the limit with 5:51 remaining in the opening quarter.
Timeout, Alaska.
Timeouts championship series. Let's look at Nick Velasco, who is picking up his game tonight. There's Ryan Gregorio, who actually won his first PBA championship at Tim Cohn's expense.
Oo, at 2-0 na si Tim Cohn nun. At bumalik pa ang Purefoods para manalo in 7 games.
That was back in 2002. Ryan Gregorio had one of the most electrifying imports in PBA history, Derek Brown. Meantime, Alaska, so far they're electrifying here in the opening quarter. Actually, nagulpit-gulit itong Purefoods. Alaska opened the game with a 10-0 run as Don Camaso. Balik PBA Don Camaso is now in the ball game for Purefoods. As Roger Yap fails to connect inside. Here's Miller. Miller on the ball. Miller steps on the gas, but he loses the ball. So, swipe job there by Roger Yap. Here's Roger Yap. Hand off for Raimundo. Raimundo, where's he going? What will he do with the basketball laban kay Velasco? He goes to Roger Yap. Roger Yap has the basketball with 10 to shoot. James Yap against Carriazo. That's a great matchup. James Yap double team and ran out of space. Okay, Dominic, ano ba balita dyan?
Itong si Don Camaso has been practicing with the Chunkee Giants for the past 3 weeks. At siya mag-fill in ng 12-man lineup nila. At Coach Ryan Gregorio expects him to be able to be a weak side defender. Dahil kailangan nilang malaki nga. At to get those rebounds. And at the same time, try to open things up. Dahil alam naman natin, nakakashoot sa labas itong si Don Camaso.
And right on cue, Don Camaso provides good help defense. But that's what Don can give you.
Oh, he can give that, yung sinasabi nga, not on a post-up defender, but yung weak side defender, getting those blocks. Kadarasan, pag makakasapalpal ka, yung ikaw yung weak side defender. And some weak side action there from Richard Yee. At nakakasingit si Richard Yee. 6 points already in the ball game.
Well, Richard Yee is a very hard worker. That's one thing you can say about former Rowdy Tiger. Tony De La Cruz, the energetic gentleman, scores that time para sa Alaska. Score na rin 23-14 in favor of the Aces. Okay, 4 minutes to go in quarter number 1. Here's Camaso, and you know Don very well.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Camaso trying to stop that layup by De La Cruz, but De La Cruz will not be denied.
Not a really good debut in a Purefoods Chunkee Giants uniform. Ito si Don Camaso. A couple of miscues. And here we see again miscue with the pass. And, Tony De La Cruz will coast down. The body English is a tough shot in front of a 6'7" defender to get the shot.
Good start here para kay Tony De La Cruz, who normally comes off the bench. But he gets the starting nod tonight para dito sa game 2. De La Cruz also started game 1. Three and a half remaining in the opening quarter. Camaso on the move. Bola na punta kay Roger Yap sa kaliwang bahagi. Roger Yap shoots over Miller. Yes.
Roger Yap.
First 2 points of the series for Roger Yap. Yan ang missing link, Migo, in my opinion. Ito si Roger Yap, who used to give around 8 to 9 points a ball game. Scoreless to game number 1. That's his spot.
Sweet spot. And that's normally money in the bank para kay De La Cruz. 11 points ang lamang ng Alaska. Bola na kay Raimundo on the right side. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening quarter. Roger Yap. Over to Limpot. And the ball will stay with Purefoods dito sa opening quarter. Lamang ng 11, 27-16. Here's Roger Yap. He'll start the play for Purefoods. And it's a turnover. And those are the things that make coaches age like dogs.
They will cringe at that. Coming off a timeout, di ba?
Po. Nakakapagdagdag ng puting buhok. Meantime, here's Velasco. Here's to Carriazo. Carriazo on the move. Carriazo over to Miller. Miller on the move. Sidestep beauty. No! Everything but the basket para kay Miller. So, patuloy pa rin naghahabol dito ang Purefoods as we near the last 2 minutes of the opening quarter. Camaso over to Raimundo. Raimundo to Camaso, and he will never hesitate, but he misses the long jumper. Here's Miller.
2 minutes.
2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. So far, it's been all Alaska. Voss against Limpot. Voss with a height advantage. Voss on the move. Voss.
Offensive foul on number 7, Sonny
He
Voss.
called for the offensive foul. That's his first.
Substitution.
Great job on Jun Limpot standing his ground against the taller and heftier Sonny Thos. Ayan, hindi nakashoot. Pinalitan lang agad. Reynel Hugnatan is in the ballgame for the first time going up against Limpot.
It's amazing what experience can do for you.
Oo.
There's Limpot against Hugnatan. Hugnatan just checked in the ball game. Limpot turns and scores.
Well, good for the Chunkee Giants that hindi si Raimundo or si Yap ang may tangan ng bola at that time, you know? They're putting another offensive threat in Jun Limpot who could easily score over Hugnatan at that time.
Perhaps addressing that bench scoring issue that we raised at the top of the coverage. Miller goes in and out. Loose ball foul spotted by Art Herrera.
Loose ball foul number 9, Julie Pop. Penalty.
At penalty ang Purefoods. Actually, kanina pa sila nasa penalty. So pinag-uusapan ngayon ni Garchi Ferrer at ni Art Herrera, sino ba dapat ang nasa free throw line? It looks like it's going to be... Okay, they want to double check. Dapat tama yung mama na nasa free throw line. Now there's a conference between Art Herrera and Noel Kilingin. So let's see if the board meeting is adjourned. Resolution 001 has been passed. It's going to be Reynel Hugna. Pero mabuti na yan. Mabuti na yung sigurado.
Oh, sigurista na sila ngayon eh. Dapat
Tama
lang
yan,
ano.
Tama yan. We don't mind spending more minutes so long as taba.
Substitution.
Mga tao na pinapadala ko.
Kirby Raimundo.
So Raimundo will sit down and Jean-Marc Pingris is in the ball game for the first time.
If you look at the rotation of Coach Ryan Gregorio, he's fielding in his players like it's hindi 1-0 yung score kagaya ng sinasabi ni Coach Tim Cone na he will have the advantage, he will have to dictate the series, but he put in first si Camaso before putting in Pingris. And that's playing like it's a 0-0 series.
Under a minute to play in the opening quarter. Yap over to Pingris. Pingris loses the ball, recovers, and scores!
Wow. Talk about instant offense for Mark Pingris.
Backing foul on number 22, Jeffrey Carriazo.
Si Carriazo tinawagan ng foul. That's his second person.
Ready now for 10 minutes.
See we here again. Pingris bobbles the ball, recovers, and doesn't think twice about going up against Nick Velasco's defense and gets the shot.
Jean-Marc Pingris, his game totally blossomed here upon joining the Purefoods Chunkee Giants. And he completes a three-point play. First 3 points para kay Pingris, pero wala pa rin ang lamang ng Alaska. Carriazo fires a pass for Velasco, who will wait for teammates. Miller back to Velasco. Velasco on courts. He's been hot from Rainbow Country, but he misses that time. James Yap zigzags inside for the layup.
The best way ito si James Yap makakascore, hindi pa nakakaset yung depensa ng Alaska. Attacking it, getting 2 points.
It's a late run here by Purefoods. Down by as many as 11. Now they've chopped it down to 6. 16 seconds to go. Carriazo may tangan ng bola. Carriazo na bangga. And it's a holding foul against Purefoods.
Holding foul number 15, Mark Pingris.
So ibig sabihin may 2 free throws dito si Carriazo. Si Pingris ang tinawagan ng foul. That's his first.
2 free throws for Jeffrey Carriazo.
Well, Jeffrey Carriazo will play the whole first quarter. Now, usually you will see Willie Miller come in for Jeffrey Carriazo at the 6 to 7 minute mark. But this time, Coach Tim Cone leaves him inside because he's been playing well. 7 points already in the ballgame for Jeff. At si Cortez ang pinalitan niya. At well, Alaska still a commanding 7-point lead at 13.8 to go in the first quarter.
So it looks like Purefoods will try to write the last sentence of the opening chapter. 7 seconds to go. Basketball is with Roger Pingris. Wants that basketball against Hugnatan. 2 seconds to go. Pingris with a ball fake and a miss.
Yung game 1 bench scoring in favor of Alaska, and of course Purefoods right now doing the adjustment, giving the ball to this guy, Jun Limpot, coming off the bench, and he scores again. Back-to-back baskets for Jun Limpot, 4 points in the ball game. And one of the reasons why he's in there is to pour in those points from the bench.
Here's Velasco. He waxed out back in the opening quarter, but he loses the ball. Castillo over to Camaso. No! Castillo gets the leather. Babalik kay Camaso over to Roger Yap. 6 points ang inahabol ng Purefoods dito sa mga unang bahagi ng second quarter. And Pingris battling hard to get the offensive rebound as a foul is spotted by guard Chief Ferrer.
Only foul number 32, Willie Wilson. His first on the ace.
So kakapasok lang nitong si Willie Wilson at agad siyang tinawagan ng personal foul. First team foul laban sa Alaska.
You know what, this game number 2 looks a lot like game number 1. Yung score nung first quarter, no? Nung game number 1, it was 21 to 29. Now it's 31 to 23. Still an 8-point advantage for Alaska to end the first quarter, just like in the first game.
Kick out pass ni Limpot. Here's Pingris back to Castillo. Titira na si Noy dito. Hindi, binigay kay Camaso from the corner. Here's Laure. Alaska. Impressive shooting back in the opening quarter, allowing them to lead by as many as 11 points. 6 points ang lamang ng Alaska. Bola na kay Hugnatan. Hugnatan laban kay Limpot. Hugnatan makes his move and he was caught dancing with the wrong pair of shoes.
Substitution, John Ferriols for Nick Velasco.
So Velasco will sit down and Ferriols checks in the ball game as we usher in Senor Domingo El Conquistador, Dominic U.
Miko, the Alaska Aces want to start out strong every game. They feel na yun ang nagsiset ng tone para dun sa laro nila. And they started out well. It's very well today in today's game, just like in game 1. And they want to do that to give less pressure dun sa mga bench guys nila. And that's what happened in game 1. Kaya naman, yung mga guys coming off the bench scored very well. And pagdating dito sa second game, yun rin ang ginagawa nila.
Well, right now, 5 bench players for the Alaska Aces, on the court at the same time. Much trust for Tim Cone as we see again, first quarter scoring 21 to 29. I think sinasabi natin, same, mukhang magkakamukha yung 8-point difference also in game number 1 and game number 2. Again, a cushion for Coach Tim Cone to put in his bench players.
Bola mananatili sa Purefoods. They are down by just 6. And on the floor, the Chunkee Giants have Castillo, Camaso, Roger Yap, Limpot, and Pingris. And that's another Purefoods turnover. Here's Wilson. Putting that upper body strength to good use.
Rushing foul number 13, Roger Yap.
Si Roger Yap ang tatawagan ng college first personal. At yan ang pangalawa.
For Willie Wilson.
Laban sa Purefoods.
Well, evident for Alaska right now is the turnover opportunities. 8 points of turnover, yung opportunities nila. They trying to push the ball. Wilson getting a layup, a hard-looking layup. Got the foul. Gets to can the first free throw. Kaya yung nangyayari, pag nakatapik ng bola itong Alaska, dire-diretso, they will look for the fast break opportunities and look to score. Wilson will split his charities.
Pressure applied by the Alaska backcourt.
And Alaska has already 8 turnovers in the ballgame, 5 already rin para sa Chunkee Giants. Stat that these two coaches wouldn't want to see. It has been tough for Don Camaso, who picks up the offensive foul in the Purefoods Chunkee Giants uniform.
You can see he's trying to get his bearings. Matagal na wala sa PBA itong si Camaso.
Oy.
And Mr. High Energy, Gary Valenciano, is in the Araneta Coliseum. And,
it's no secret he's
an
gonna...
Alaska fan.
Oh.
Malinaw. Very, very clear offensive foul against Castillo. Practically sat on Willie Wilson.
Happening right in front of us. Ano yung action na yun?
Inuwang sopa eh.
Oh. Another guy, ito si Noy Castillo, who has, well, mababa yung kumpiyansa ngayon ni Noy. 0 for 6 in game number 1. Still scoreless in this second game.
Aces protecting a 7-point lead as we near the 9-minute mark of the second quarter. Ognatan over to Miller. Miller sends it over to Wilson. Wilson on the move. Floater is good.
And those moves and those points will buy more time for these Alaska starters on the bench. And mamaya, pag pinasok yan, fresh na fresh yung starters. Siyempre, mamaya, siguradong kasama na si Miller yan.
Balik sa 9 points ang inahabol ng Purefoods. Lipot with a miss. Evangelista gets the loose ball. 9 to shoot for Purefoods. Evangelista. And there's a steal by Wilson. Wilson on the move. Wilson bangs into Castillo as Castillo returns the favor.
Offensive foul number 32, Willie Wilson. That's his second personal.
The Tim Cone will not like the call as we see again what happened here. Castillo, well, looks like he was still moving a little bit nung sumalubong ito si Willie Wilson.
Castillo hounded by Wilson. Bola na kay Evangelista. Evangelista will lose the ball to former teammate Eddie Laure. And Willie Miller will go all the way for 2.
Before the game, he said he was so sure that his defense would hold up against the Alaska Aces. Sabi niya, there's no off night on defense. I'm worried about my offense. And parang baliktad din nangyari sa game number 1. Okay naman yung offense niya, yung defense niya. He fouled so many times. His team fouled so many times, which put the Alaska Aces on the line 39 times, which cost them the game.
Kirby, handoff for James Yap. James Yap fakes, forcing one up, looking for the contact, none given, and the ball goes back to Alaska. Here's Ognatan. Ognatan is going!
Oh my goodness.
Unmindful of the presence of Kirby Raimundo, Ognatan flushes it down to the surprise of the Purefoods defense.
Well,
Kaya't 13 ang abante dito ng Alaska, and they are roaring here in game 2. Sigurado ka dyan, sinigurado ni Ognatan.
there's a saying, sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the statue. And you know who the pigeon and the statue was in that situation.
Tanungin anong ginagawa ng pigeon sa statue. We're closing in on the 7-minute mark of the second quarter. Here's Ognatan over to Wilson. Wilson, hesitant on that play. Let's go to Dominic.
Miko, para dun sa mga hindi alam kung ano nangyari dito kay Renal Hugnatan, why he's wearing a face mask, he got elbowed by Rafi Rivas nung Coca-Cola series nila in Game 4, and he just had an operation no weekend, and he was supposed to miss Game 1 and Game 2 of the semifinals, pero he was cleared by the doctor at kita mo naman, operation or not, itong si Renal Hugnatan still has that power for that slam.
So Ognatan all business here, but Raimundo answers back with the layup. Pero lamang pa rin ang Alaska, 38-27. As we near the halfway mark of the second quarter. And impresario slash team manager Joaquin Trillo was telling us something about the Alaska players on the floor.
Well, you have 4 left-handers. This is one. This is Eddie Laure. Of course, Hugnatan, Ferriols, and Miller. And all of them, Nico, came from the NBA.
This is a southpaw unit for Alaska.
Jumping Aliasa for Willie Wilson.
Hindi naman siguro magbabago yung depensa ng Purefoods. Pang-boxing lang yung
Southpaw na. Well, shade left, shade right na ngayon yung...
southpaw ang kalaban.
But he was really happy with the way his team is gelling right now. Ito si manager Joaquin Trillo. And I was speaking to him and he said na wala daw siyang problema with attitude. The most important thing for him. And it's showing in the way the Alaska team is playing right now.
Jump ball violation.
Patuloy pa rin lumalamang dito ang Alaska sa kalagitnaan ng second quarter. Cortez and Carriazo have been reinserted in the ball game. Here's Cortez, swings it over to Laure. Laure inside Ferriols, drop step.
Traveling. Substitution. Nick Velasco for Eddie Laure.
Nagulat doon si Ferriols. Thought he made a pretty move.
And Tim Cone must be happy with the way his bench has played. Pinasok niya yung mga players. 8 points ang namang ng Alaska. Eh, pag labas ng mga starters, ng mga bench players, naging 11 na ang lamang. So, they're doing their duties. They're doing their job.
Only the 4th point tonight para kay Raimundo. 9 points ang lamang ng Alaska. 38-29. Here's Ferriols. Ferriols is one player. May not get too many touches, but every time he gets that basketball near the goal, he knows exactly what to do.
Well, he's been proving these people who were speculating na hindi daw siya makalaro dito sa PBA. Ayan, makikita natin yung and one opportunity courtesy from a foul from Richard Yee. Well, Nico, sinasabi ko nga, itong may mga speculators na speculate sila na hindi daw makalaro ito si John Ferriol sa PBA because his size, the way he plays, but proving them all wrong right now.
Velasco. Pops it in. Patuloy pa rin yung magandang pinapakita ni Velasco with 11 points. Effectively bouncing back from that 3-point performance in Game 1. At dahil lumalayo dito ang Alaska, not a good sign at all. If you're a Purefoods fan, here's Raimundo. One-hand pass para kay Richard Yee. No! Here's Hugnatan. Hugnatan over to Cortez. Quickly to Velasco. Oh, look out! Airball. Although the way Velasco has been shooting, if you were a Purefoods fan, medyo kakabahan ka dun eh. Because he was squared up for the shot.
30 seconds timeout.
Kinulak ng Mambo. Kaya kinapos. So we have a timeout here. 30 seconds. I thought the low button, open button looked good on him.
Okay rin eh.
To begin with.
Some behind the scenes dun eh.
Okay, patuloy ang aksyon dito sa second quarter. Bola na kay Carriazo. Carriazo over to Ferriols. Ferriols laban kay Raimundo. 12 to shoot para sa Alaska. They are up by 13 big points. Velasco on the right side. 5 to shoot para sa Alaska. Somebody better do something. And the ball ends up with Paul Artadi.
Arguably the easiest points for the Chunkee Giants in this ball game. Paul Artadi, only his first basket, 3 points na.
In and out para kay Velasco. Here's Artadi. Artadi scored a layup seconds ago. Inabot kay James Yap. James Yap, 4-3, airball.
Very early in the shot clock, James Yap decides to shoot.
Well, James Yap has a perpetual green light to take shots in a ball game. Here's Ognatan, lob pass for Yos. No. Three and a half remaining in the first half. 11 ang inahabol ng Purefoods. Here's Pingris. Pingris, top of the key. Pingris, he's not going to shoot from that distance. Pinasa kay Raimundo. Araneta. Glad to see him back here in the PBA. And nandito yung sumunod sa kanya dun sa draft na yun. The number 2 overall pick of that year's draft.
Lalaro pa rin.
Was Bong Hawkins.
Oh.
And remember si Alex, there's Bong Hawkins, siya yung number 2 pick right behind Araneta. Of course, Hawkins started his career not with Alaska but with Presto. Oh. And remember si Alex doon had yung parang Samson-like hair. Kulot na mahaba eh. So patuloy action dito sa second quarter. Here's Cortez, hounded by Artadi. Cortez having trouble with the basketball over to Velasco. No! And Velasco starting to miss. Sonny Toss will miss down low. And a foul is spotted by Art Herrera.
Again, foul number 28,
It's going
Richard
to be a
G.
foul on Richard D. His third personal foul. Richard D, who played really well in game number 1, scoring 20 points. Ngayon, 6 points pa lang, and he has the unenviable task of going up against yung Alaska front line. No?
Mintis yung unang free throw ni Sonny Toss as Jolas provides some pointers to the Cool Cat. Nine points pa rin ang hinahabol dito ng Purefoods. 2:43 remaining in the first half. Artadi goes to Raimundo. Raimundo against Velasco. 10 to shoot for Purefoods. Raimundo needs to pass the basketball. Artadi with a 15-footer, no go. And a lot of action underneath. And they're going to call it against Mike Cortez.
Machine foul number 1, Mike Cortez.
It's going to be number 3 against Cortez. We're still in the first half play.
Luckily for the Alaska Aces, they're still not in the penalty.
Richard D. Oh, great offensive rebound, but could not finish the putback. Pingris one more try, and that is persistence for the Purefoods front line.
Ito yung 5 ng Purefoods Chunkee Giants na hirap ang Alaska Aces. 3 big players with Guy, Raimundo, and Pingris battling the boards.
Here's Pingris. Pingris on the move. Jump hook, no go. And that basketball ends up with Sonny Toss. Toss over to Carriazo to Cortez. Cortez nakatingin kay De La Cruz, but he could not send the ball. And here's Toss inside. Kapos yung kanyang jump hook, but he will go to the line. Fantastic action here in the second quarter. At si Artadi ang tatawagan ng foul, his second personal.
2 free throws for Sonny Toss.
Might be a good foul on Sonny Toss, who earlier missed 2 free throws. And the Purefoods with a mini run of sorts here late in the second quarter. Again, 3 misses in a row para kay Sonny Toss.
Roger Yap for Paul Artadi.
4 na minuto nang hindi nakakapuntos ang Alaska, kaya naman dahan-dahang nakakabalik sa ating laro ang Purefoods. Miller comes in for the foul beleaguered Cortez. Cortez sits down with 3 personal fouls. At sa wakas, nakapuntos ang Alaska with that free throw conversion by Toss. 8 points ang inaabol ng Purefoods, 43-35. A minute and 31 remaining in the second quarter. Sidestep by James Yap. Bola napunta kay De La Cruz. De La Cruz on the move. Miller stops and fires and scores.
He just makes it look so easy. As Alaska was struggling a while ago, pinasok lang si Willie Miller, coolly sinking that 15-footer.
At balik si Gis Puntos ang kabate ng Alaska, 45-35. Dahan-dahan ang nauubos ang oras dito sa first half. Roger Yap zigzagging inside, and there's a blocking foul, could be against Toss.
Blocking foul on number 7, Semifinals. That's his second.
Second personal against the Alaska big man.
14, second shot clock.
At ang Alaska is at the limit with a minute and 1 second remaining in the second period. Pingris against De La Cruz. Pingris overshoots. Oh, putback is good by Raimundo. That is all effort. All effort coming from Kirby.
Pushing foul on number 3, Nick Velasco.
Si Velasco ang tatawagan ng foul. That's his first personal.
Now we see here again, yung matchup ng De La Cruz versus Pingris will not get hit in the first try, pero si Kirby Raimundo, sabi mo nga, all hustle. Pero dito hirap na hirap itong Alaska because they're manhandling. The Chunkee Giants are manhandling the Alaska Aces in the rebounding department. Ayan na naman.
Aces almost losing the ball after getting the rebound. Here's Velasco. Outside, De La Cruz. No. Velasco offensive rebound. Reset para sa Alaska. 30 seconds to go bago matapos ang second quarter. Here's Carriazo, top of the key. Carriazo goes right. Carriazo, hook pass, Velasco. De La Cruz over to Miller. Yes. So 10 puntos na naman ang lamang ng Alaska, 47-37. And the Purefoods Chunkee Giants will try to operate to score the last basket of the second quarter. And that ball ends up with nobody. We welcome you to the second half of play. And let's look at the third quarter protagonists. Para sa Alaska, they have Carriazo, De La Cruz, Cortez, Tos, and Velasco. For Purefoods, nandyan po si Evangelista, James Yap, Raimundo, Lipot, at Roger Yap. And Roger Yap is now trying to shadow Mike Cortez. Cortez, remember, picked up 3 personal fouls in the first half. As De La Cruz gets his own miss, De La Cruz over to Velasco. Bagong shot clock para sa Alaska. Whistle is blown by Garchi Ferrer.
It's going to be a foul on Jun Limpot trying to contain the dollars on his toss.
His second personal, first team foul.
Second personal against Papa Jun. That's the first team foul laban sa Purefoods here in the third quarter. Muli po, lamang ang Alaska dito sa ating serye, 1-0. Best of 7 po ang labanan dito. Ang mananaig dito sa Best of 7 series will go all the way to the Philippine Cup Finals. Doon naman sa kabilang bracket, naglalaban ang Red Bull at San Miguel. At nanalo po ang San Miguel in convincing fashion over Red Bull in the first game.
That becomes a best of 5 because both teams have 1 win in the best of 7. And another point that we stated, the game-winning points natin, the bench scoring. And you see a couple of guys from the Purefoods Chunkee Giants getting in the scoring column.
That's going to be the 4th personal against Cortez.
Offensive foul number 1, Mike Cortez. That's
The
his
problem
fourth.
brewing for the Alaska Aces, kung ito si Mike Cortez nga, 4 na nga. Like you said, Miko, and right away, Willie Miller up from the bench. An early substitution with 10:35 to go in the third quarter.
You really cannot afford to have Cortez pick up his 5th foul this early in the third quarter. So now they're trying to attack the defense of Cortez. And there's Roger Yap.
Cortez comes up with a block.
Here's Carriazo. Carriazo inside. Hand off. Toss. No! Oh! Here's Evangelista. Stutter step. And he connects.
Don't look now, but that's the 5th personal foul on Mike Cortez. With close to 2 quarters to go, eto makikita natin, Cortez stays his ground, sidestep mula kay Ray Evangelista will get it to go. lumaki ang problema ni Coach Tim Cone.
Cortez would have been better off avoiding contact as opposed to risking getting called for a foul.
Kahit tumakbo na lang sa malayo sana.
No one will blame him naman eh. Wala naman magsisisi sa kanya kung lumayo siya. Oh, there's a block by James Yap. Here's Raimundo. It's a 6-point ball game in favor of Alaska. Raimundo, James Yap. No, couldn't pull the trigger. Open shot here for Evangelista, no go. And the ball ends up with Miller. Some pulsating action here to open up action in the third quarter. Kung saan naghahabol ang Purefoods. Alaska ang lamang. Carriazo over to Velasco. Velasco, yes!
Velasco.
13 points for Velasco. Back to an 8-point lead for Alaska. Here's Raimundo. Roger Yap, 15-footer on the way.
Important points coming from these guys who play second fiddle. You see Roger Yap, 4 points in the ball game.
Toss. Todo bantay na doon si Evangelista, but De La Cruz still manages to sink the jumper. He has 12.
So, Assistant Coach Ronnie Magtanok was talking about making the stops.
Lipot was bothered by De La Cruz. What is normally highly effective from that area. Si Evangelista tatawagan ng loose ball foul. It's third personal.
So every time the Chunkee Giants are trying to make a run, Alaska has the solution. Dousing the fire.
Closing in on the 8-minute mark of the third quarter. Velasco made a jumper from the right side moments ago. Pumunta sa gitna, pinilit yung tira, and it goes in.
Basket is good for Nick Velasco. Pushing foul number 21, Kirby Raimundo. Bonus free throw for Nick Velasco.
Here we see Nick Velasco not on the outside at the three-point line, but inside where his coaches really want him to play. Gets the end one situation. Ito si Nick Velasco. 15 points in the ball game. You know, I was talking to the coaching staff and they said they still feel, Miko, that ito si Nick Velasco is their primary post threat. And they're not really telling him not to shoot the three-point shot, but just don't fall in love with it. And that'd be a threat also from within the two-point area.
It's Raimundo in the basket. Velasco's really an inside and outside threat, no doubt about it. Minsan mahirap siya sisihin eh, dahil pag mainit siya, mainit talaga siya. Well, he exhibited that back in the opening quarter. 7.5 remaining in the third quarter. Toss, may tanga ng bola. Binalik kay Carriazo. Carriazo, yes sir. It's a long two-pointer for the Jet, who now has 10 points. Ayan, balik na naman sa 11. Ang kabante ng Alaska, 56-45. Roger Yap on the move, and he loves that shot.
So much attention was given to both Kirby Raimundo and James Yap na yung isang Roger Yap naman ang nakakuha ng 2 points.
Ang nakataya dito sa seryeng ito, pwestuhan para sa finals. Speaking of finals, I would like to congratulate all the Miami Heat fans.
Oh.
And I think Dwayne Wade is the real deal. Except that he has left me speechless.
That's a lot to say about him.
Although I stopped watching the playoffs altogether when the Lakers got eliminated. So hindi ko alam ano talaga nangyari. Pinalita lang. 6.5 remaining in the third quarter. And here's Roger Yap. He fires. Miller with no rebounder, no problem, no conscience. Willie Miller getting the ball back. De La Cruz. Velasco back to De La Cruz. De La Cruz short. He knew it the minute the ball left his hands. It would fall short. 5:18 to go in the third quarter. Here's Kirby. Al-Jariap. And Pingree. Let's go to Dominic Wood.
Miko, the Chunkee Giants wanting to play some defense. Sabi nga ni Coach Ryan, they're really gonna keep on making their shots kung hindi natin sila dedepensahan. We have to start playing defense now. He was really going for the attitude and the effort. Sabi nila, guys, di ba never say die tayo? Well, we have to start doing something now. Back to you, Miko.
Well, you know, the Chunkee Giants will take their pride in defense. You know, his most important component is the will to play defense. As you see, an offensive foul on Roger Yap.
The second person.
When you feel that the Chunkee Giants are on a mini run of their own, ito makikita natin. Yun, nakita natin.
Well, it appeared that Raso simply collided with Roger Yap. Nevertheless, action continues. Sunny Toss, nowhere to go. And nowhere to go.
Substitution,
Was a brick wall on the left and a stone wall on the right.
Well, as reported by Dominic Uy, I think that that was a good pep talk by Coach Ryan Gregorio. They stepped up on the defensive scheme of things. I'm talking about the Chunkee Giants. Stop after stop dito sa third quarter.
Nobody has more pep than Coach Ryan. He is, after all, the prince of persistence and the beacon of determination. Here's Raimundo. And Roger Yap zigzagging inside, and he gets shot blocked. He gets smothered. Miller on the move. He steps on the gas, and he goes all the way. No go. And De La Cruz gets swallowed up by the defense, and the ball will stay with Alaska.
But that's what Alaska has to do, is to stay aggressive. That was a 3-on-5 situation. The Chunkee Giants did their job going down on defense. Ayan silang lahat. Pero Tony De La Cruz thought he had the shot, took it, was sent back.
Good idea by Carriazo. Mataas lang ng kaunti yung pasa niya para kay Hugnata.
Perfect opportunity for the Purefoods Chunkee Giants to get back into this ball game.
Eight points ang nais burahin dito ng Purefoods. Raimundo. Still has the basketball. Now there's a double team, and then nahanap si Richard Yee. No! Sorry, miss for Richard Yee. Really worked hard for that layup. Miller. Chased by Roger Yap. Hook pass. De La Cruz fixed. De La Cruz fires.
Well, the play was started by Willie Miller to De La Cruz, who did not really have an open shot. Had to dribble once. Gets the basket. De La Cruz right now with 16 big markers to his name.
Yeah, he had 9 points back in game 1. Raimundo. Picked up the basketball. He needs a friend here. And that's a good ball. Good pressure defense applied by Hugnata. Forcing Raimundo into that
rhythm type of a shot. And he must be practicing that
day in and day out. Oh. Miller for 2, no go. Pingris gets the rebound. There's a foul. This will be against De La Cruz.
Foul on Tony De La Cruz. That's his first
Personal against De La Cruz, second against the Aces. May 2 minuto pa natitira dito sa third quarter. Yap will slow things down. Here's James Yap, fall away, no go. Pingris with a rebound, and putback is good. 9 points for Pingris.
Again, the big three combination of the Chunkee Giants might work for them here in the third quarter with Pingris, Yee, and Raimundo in the ballgame at the same time.
Closing in on the last 2 minutes of the third quarter. Here's Carriazo, the Ferrios. miss. And that ball ends up with Pingris. Si Pingris meron ng 7 rebounds ngayong gabi. Jab. Gustong iwanan si Carriazo. And a foul is spotted by Noel Quilino. I'd like to greet a number of our devoted PBA fans. Coach Aristotel Manalo and the rest of the Ateneo track and field team are watching all the way from Nueva Ecija. And Enzo Katipunan and the rest of the Ateneo Blue Eaglets are also watching. Hello, guys. Akong bibigan pag hindi ko sila pinaka.
Walang pansinan niyo pag nagkita kayo.
Okay, there's a foul spotted here by Carchi Ferrer.
Pushing foul number 55, John Ferrios. That's his third.
It's going to be number 3 against Ferrios.
2 free throws for Richard.
Sending Richard D to the line. Richard D coming off an incredible 20-point performance, albeit in a losing effort for Purefoods. Richard D, one of belongs to a rare breed. Yung isang team lang talaga ang kanilang pinaglalaroan sa PBA. One and only team so far. Wilson checks in the ball game para palitan si Carriazo. Bibilang yan eh, yung mga players.
Rare breed yan.
Yung matagal na isang team lang ang pinaglalaroan. And Ray Evangelista also belongs to that list.
Baka idol niya si Cap.
Actually, idol niya talaga si Alvin Capricorn. That's why when he was enlisted by Purefoods, it was almost a dream come true to play alongside Alvin Capricorn. De La Cruz hounded by Pingris. And they will call the foul on Pingris. Of course, you can bet Ryan Gregorio is displeased with the call.
Personal foul number 15, Mark Pingris.
Second personal against Pingris.
And here we see again aggressiveness of Mark Pingris, almost getting the turnover. Ito makikita natin, may foul pala. Ito si Mark Pingris. Muntik nang magkaroon ng slam dunk courtesy of Yakult itong si Mark Pingris.
5 to shoot for Alaska. Velasco on court. Nabig na itong si Velasco after a blistering shooting performance in the first quarter.
Velasco with 3 3-point shots converted in the first quarter, pero he's now got 16 points.
Dahan-dahan ang nauubos ang oras sa third quarter. Back pass ni James Johnson. Out goes, but not quite.
Backing foul number 3.
Purefoods fans in attendance here inside the Big Dome are a boisterous
That's his
lot.
second 15
Trying to
foul.
cheer their team back in the ball game.
2 free throws for Richard D.
Si Velasco ang tinawagan ng foul. Only his second personal.
You see here, Purefoods again only 50% from the line, 4 out of 9 right now.
Substitution Olantadi for James Yap.
Something you want to cash in because wala nang bumabantay sa'yo habang tumitira ka.
Richard D, while growing up in San Jose Antique, idolized Alvin Patrimonio, Jericho Diniera, and Jojo Lastimosa, and the rest of the Purefoods hot dogs back then.
Full court pressure being applied by the Chunkee Giants.
5 points ang lamang ng Alaska with 1 minute and 9 to go in the third quarter. Wilson. Sa ngayon ang tumata yung point guard dito. Willie Miller. Flipping it over to Velasco. And there's a tap by quick hands of Artadi.
5 second shot.
Alaska is keen on looking at the mismatch between Artadi and Miller. They're trying to play that right now pero hindi pa rin nangyayari para sa Alaska.
30 second timeout. Alaska Aces.
58 seconds to go in the third quarter. You can wipe that grin off your face.
okay.
Mr. Maki. Here's Velasco. Trying to slice through. No go. Tip-in is good.
Second serving for Nick Velasco, getting his 18th point in the ball game. First game yan, 3 points lang ito si Nick Velasco.
7-point lead para sa Alaska. Here's Castillo. Castillo inside. No go on the floater. And Velasco na with 6 rebounds tonight. Here's Hugnatan. Hugnatan will take it all the way. Sumobra yung kanyang layup. Ferriols for the putback.
Again, second chance opportunity for the Alaska Aces. Not everyone coming down for the Chunkee Giants on defense. Kaya may mismatch sila sa numbers.
Bigla na naman naiwan ang Purefoods dito sa ating laro. 5 to shoot for the Giants. Limpot has the basketball. And this will mean free throws.
Holding foul on Nick Velasco. Penalty.
It's the third personal foul on Nick Velasco. Pero more importantly, ito, yung sabi mo, free throws para kay Papa Jun
2
Limpot.
free throws for June Limpot.
You're wondering why we call June Papa June. Yan ang kanyang term of endearment sa kanyang mga kakampi. June is not getting any younger. But the shooting touch is still very much there. Makes the first free throw. Rookie of the Year way back in 1993. Still going strong here for Purefoods. Isa po ay pinagmamalaki ng Surigao. Very long time in his career. He was part of the Santa Lucia Realtors before moving on to Nebra, before moving on to Purefoods. So ito na lang, 4 seconds na lang mga natitira. Miller, binura si Artadi, and that's going to end the set for Purefoods as Velasco muscles his way through. So not enough muscle on the shot as you look at the scoring by quarters.
Again, looking like game number 1. Pero medyo mas malaki ng lamang ng Alaska in game number 2 at the end of 3 quarters.
Jump ball.
In the first game, it was a 64-60 game. At the end of 3 quarters, now it's 66-59. But the tempo and the tone, again, regardless of Mike Cortez having 5 personal fouls, parang ganun pa rin yung laro ng Alaska versus the Chunkee Giants. Cortez, of course, being relieved by Willie Miller, playing a bulk in this ballgame.
It's going to be Pingris against Ferriols. Purefoods gets the basketball dito sa mga unang bahagi ng 4th and final quarter. Hangarin po ng Purefoods na maitabla itong ating serye. They did lose game 1 by just 2 points. Limpot, top of the key. Yes, sir. I told you the shooting touch is very much there.
8 points in the ball game for a man with 1,000 moves. Daming galaw nito si Jun Limpot. He just showed us one right now.
5 points ang lamang ng Alaska, 66-61 at nagtatangkang humabol dito ang Purefoods. That Ferriols connects. Balik na naman sa 7 ang abante ng Alaska.
Well, for the Chunkee Giants, they can't afford to just trade baskets right now. They have to make the move earlier than they did in the last game.
Ferriols with the rebound. Here's Hugnatan. Hugnatan steps on the brakes. Brakes weren't strong enough. The anti-lock.
Walang ABS, anti-lock braking system. May konting give yung sapatos nito si Reynel Hugnatan.
Limpot, top of the key. Castillo trying to break free from Wilson. Here's Artadi over to Richard Yee. 10 to shoot para sa Purefoods. Yee over to Artadi with another. Can't score from the outside. I'll try to get my points inside.
Well, he's going to turn out as the smallest inside player in the league. Ito si Paul Artadi.
Topes Robinson. So you see the protagonists on the floor. Miller, Wilson, Ferriols, Hugnatan, and Velasco. They try to increase this Alaska 5-point lead. Artadi on the moment. Kid Lightstick gets the layup. I tell you, there is a buzz inside the Big Dome every time Artadi has that ball on the fast break. And Purefoods now within 3, 68-65. There's Artadi once again. Artadi all the way. Oh, he's fouled.
That's a great foul by Willie Miller. Pero Artadi, man of the minute at least. Back-to-back steals.
And something he did habitually for the UE Red Warriors when he was in the amateur ranks.
2 free throws for Paul Artadi.
Paul Anthony Artadi is on the line. Second round pick of Purefoods back in 2004. Former most improved player in the PBL. Playing for one of his childhood favorite teams, Purefoods.
Substitution, Jeffrey Gallardo for Willie Wilson.
Artadi will have another chance to bite into this Alaska lead as Carriazo set back to settle down the Alaska troops.
Great stats for Paul Artadi, 7 points and 6 assists. He's close to a 50% free throw shooter, so true to his word, he's 2 out of 4 in tonight's ball game.
Here's Carriazo. Pressure in the backcourt applied by Purefoods. Nathan safely crosses the half-court line.
Yeah, Alaska been sorely missing Mike Cortez's services.
Here's Carriazo. Carriazo has the basketball. Remember, he was sent in moments ago to try and organize this Alaska 5 on the floor. 2 to shoot for Alaska. Carriazo, no go. And that ball will, Periols are running over our Astig Babes. I don't know who the crowd was more concerned for, Periols or the Astig Babes. And okay, they seem to be okay. Can we make sure they're okay? Can we please double check? They seem to be okay. All right. And there's a dribbling violation against Velasco.
Dribbling violation.
Yeah, but this is why players have to focus.
Yes,
When
with all the distractions around.
when the game is exciting there. Yes, we know how you feel.
TV time for you.
Yes, we're glad to see you're okay. Here's Artadi. Castillo over the Limpot. Yes, sir! We're tied! We are tied here in the fourth quarter.
Time on the bench para kay James Yap. Kaya yung mga teammates niya, maganda nilalaro.
And we have a ball game here. Score tied at 68. Ball na kay Velasco. Velasco hook is so good. And now John Limpot will be called for
Number
number
9, Jun Limpot.
John Limpot and Paul Artadi have stepped up here in the fourth quarter. Limpot with 2 field goals. At si Artadi rin, ano? May 2 field goals also.
They have been instrumental in this Purefoods comeback. Don't look now, but Cortez is back in the game. And bear in mind, Cortez is nursing 5 personal fouls. Here's Cortez on the move. And Artadi gets a swipe. But a whistle is blown by Art Herrera, and Artadi better watch it.
Art Herrera really producing. You can see Paul Artadi just making sure he does not overreact.
Second team foul on Chunkee Giants.
And a good angle by the ABC 5.
Okay, let's bring it over to Dominic Wills.
Nico, just a recap. On the start of the fourth quarter, I was talking to the trainer of the Purefoods Chunkee Giants as si Coach Pat. At sinabi niya, these are the games that you want to live for. At para siyang nagdilang anghel, now they're already back in the game. Sabi niya, I just feel something good for the Purefoods Chunkee Giants in today's game. So tignan natin kung mananalo ang Chunkee Giants ngayon.
We shall definitely see. We're nearing the 8-minute mark of the fourth and final quarter. Richard D with a basketball. He fires a clutchy shot. A shot he did not make. Rebound ends up with Hugnata. 2-point lead para sa Alaska. Here's Carriazo. Gusto iwanan si Castillo. Carriazo with the layup. The players falling like bowling pins here in the fourth quarter. Si Hugnata na tatawagan ng foul. His first personal. Boy, action is fierce here in the fourth quarter. And I tell you, Purefoods is taking it to Alaska in this period. The Aces are still up by 2, 70-68. Limpot waiting for Castillo. Here's Castillo. Good defense by Carriazo. That's fantastic defense by the Jet. Completely anticipating what Castillo would do.
Second foul on number
Purefoods
4.
being the aggressor, pero nagkakaroon sila ng mga fouls. Paul Artadi back-to-back fouls. See a couple of starters coming back. Of course, Raimundo and Yap. They must be happy with the way their bench has played. Because the bench has just put back the Purefoods Chunkee Giants in the ballgame. They're just down by 2.
14-second shot clock.
Here's Carriazo on the left side. Velasco gets the ball against the defense of Yi. 6 to shoot for Alaska.
Offensive foul on number 3, Nick Velasco.
Fourth personal foul on Nick Velasco.
And Richard Yi heading over to Nol Kiling and telling Nol, ref, kanina pa yun. So here's Pingres with a leather. Pingres against Hugnatan. Here's Roger Yap. They will try to get Cortez's sixth and last foul rather. And there's Cortez, unable, helpless in trying to stop Roger Yap at the post.
They must send someone to double team because Cortez will not contest the shot by Roger Yap. For two Purefoods, they should go and milk that mismatch due to fouls.
We're tied at 70 as we near the halfway mark of the final quarter. Tiny toss inside, toss, no goal. Pingres gets the basketball and an opportunity here for the go-ahead basket. Purefoods down by as many as 13 points earlier in the game, with a chance to score here and take the lead. Take the lead for the very first time, as a matter of fact. Here's Roger Yap, 3 to shoot. Roger Yap for the lead. No. And Cortez will get the basketball. The cool cat on the move, and he will miss, but he will take 2. I tell you, players are falling and stumbling here in the fourth quarter.
His first 14th foul on the Chunkee
Richard Yi,
Giants.
check that. James Yap ang tinawagan ng foul, only his first personal. 4th team foul laban sa Purefoods. The cool cat has been yanked in and out of this ball game because of foul trouble, affecting his production tonight.
Not a really good game for Mike Cortez. Only 2 assists and 2 points, but his aggressiveness has still been there. Kita natin yung opportunity ng Alaska. They pushed the ball and they got a foul. Because so.
23 points for Cortez after scoring 21 back in game 1. Lamang ang Alaska, 71-70. Nathan snatching that rebound. Here's Cortez. Cortez steps on the brakes. Over to Velasco. Velasco back to Cortez. Cortez leaves James Yap behind. Over to Carriazo. Carriazo open jumper. No, off the mark. And that ball ends up with Alaska.
Another opportunity for the Alaska Aces, as we saw a lot of bodies on the floor. Both teams.
Alaska Aces.
Pero basketball mo na.
Ronaldo hasn't been playing well.
England hasn't won in a long time. So Cortez will organize the offense here. We're coming off an Alaska timeout. Here's Velasco on the right side. Carriazo on the move. Carriazo over to Toss. Toss, where's he going? Where's he going? Outside Carriazo. Velasco for 3. No! Sonny Toss defensive rebound and the putback is good. Right as Mike says Sonny Toss. As he Toss, meron ng 5 points. At 10 rebounds.
More importantly, giving some breathing room for the Alaska Aces, who are only up by 3 points.
Under 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Raimundo. Raimundo on the move. Oh, that's an easy call.
The Exactly, Nicolas. One of the easiest balls tonight. Kirby Raimundo.
That's his score.
Good job on Nick Velasco, just putting up his chest to be pushed out. It's pushed aside by Kirby Raimundo.
Numbers coming from Pingris off the bench for Purefoods. Alaska on top by 3 here with over 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Cortez to Carriazo. Carriazo cannot lead James Yap behind. Bola na punta kay Richard Yee. On the floor for Purefoods, Artadi, Yee, Raimundo, James Yap and Pingris. Here's Artadi with 12 to shoot. So Yap, James Yap on the move. James Yap against Carriazo. James Yap for 3. Good line. And who gets the ball? It's going to go to Purefoods.
Richard Yee not giving up on that offensive rebound, gets to tap the ball out towards the hands of, I think, Reynald Hugnatan. Pero balikan natin yung bench scoring, Miko. Well, not really bench scoring, but sharing the wealth for the Chunkee Giants. 7 players have scored. 8 points or more.
Fingers now in double figures. And it's just a 1-point Alaska lead, 73-72.
Grabe itong ginawa ni Pingris.
Ginulat ang lahat. And so with under 4 minutes to go, Alaska is trying to hold on to this precarious 1-point lead. Ross on the move. Ross will take 2. Steady hands coming from Ross. Captain Alvin Patrimonio sharing his wealth of experience and leadership to the younger members of the Purefoods Chunkee Giants rather. Ito naman si Sonny Thos getting a lion's share of rebounds and goes 2 out of 2 on that trip to the line. Kaya tatlo na naman ang abante ng Alaska, 75-72. We are in the payoff period. Game 2 of the semifinal series. Nico Halili kasama si Peter Martin, Dominic Uy, and Kiki Sabirin for ABC Sports. Raimundo falling away and he won't connect. That will be the 11th rebound para kay Thos.
That's a tough shot for Kirby Raimundo. A couple of guys for the Chunkee Giants just standing around looking for what Kirby was going to do. You want them to be active and moving without the ball.
Cortez to Velasco. He will not shoot. Carriazo will shoot and will connect.
And Jeff Carriazo, of course, with that outside jumper, just given Alaska a 5-point lead.
And effectively keeping Purefoods at bay. 2:55 remaining in the ball game. Kung manalo po ang Alaska rito, they'll be up 2-0 in this best-of-7 series. James Yap. Roger Yap. For a long try, and De La Cruz gets the rebound. Here's Cortez. Remember, Cortez is nursing 5 fouls. Cortez to Velasco. 9 to shoot for Alaska. De La Cruz. No. Pingris with the rebound. The Giants down by 5 points, 77-72 as we near the last 2 minutes of the payoff period. Tough shot. Oh, he connects. TM Chris mula sa pinalakas sa TM. Power to the people.
James Yap with 15 points in the ballgame.
And we are in the last 2 minutes brought to you by Hope, the luxury cigarette. Alaska on top by 2. Cortez, no! And the ball ends up with Velasco. Lucky break for Alaska. And the Aces with a new shot clock here, up by 2 points. Here's Cortez. Now double team. Somebody's open here. Now here's Cortez on the move. 15-footer no. De La Cruz bangs into Pingris. That's an offensive foul. Basket will not count.
Offensive foul on number 35, Tony De La Cruz.
And the defense of the Chunkee Giants have put them in this position to at least tie and a chance to win this ball game tonight.
Purefoods is trying to tie the series with a victory tonight. Here's James Yap for the lead. Not quite. The Purefoods fans were all set to go bananas, but it was not to be. As we near the last minute of play, bola na kay Cortez. Ayaw iwanan ni Roger Yap. Cortez has the ball. Cortez makes his move. Cortez, no, but a foul is called. Everyone will have the guts to take that shot. In the meantime, Cortez with free throws here.
So that shot, galing kay James Yap na 3-point shot. Yun yung, wag mong titira. Biglang, buti na lang tinira mo.
So, well, Cortez making things happen when it matters the most. Although he has been on the bench for quite some time because of foul trouble. He goes 2 out of 2. So here's Raymundo, double team. Roger Yap is open. Roger Yap is wide open. Roger Yap inside, and he connects.
Roger Yap.
2-point ball game here. Alaska on top by 2 precarious points. Cortez in the backcourt. Cortez on the move, and he gets fouled from behind. And this will mean free throw.
Second foul on number 18, James Yap.
Really don't need to foul for the Chunkee Giants. Because the ball, they will get the ball back no matter what happens. With a lot of time, under a minute to go.
2 free throws.
They could have just played good defense and get the ball back. But right now, they have to hope that Mike Cortez will miss free throws.
Well, Cortez went 2 out of 2 moments ago. He makes the first of a pair of charities. 8-point lead for Alaska. Cortez can make it a 4-point ball game anew.
64.4% from the free throw line. To see Mike Cortez. No problem in that last trip.
45 seconds to go. Apat ang inaabol ng Purefoods. 81-77.
That's the foul to give.
They have lots of fouls to give.
Walking foul on number 22, Jeffrey Carriazo.
4th person na laban kay Carriazo. That's only the 3rd.
Substitution, Will Miller for Mike Cortez.
It's only the 3rd team foul against the Aces. They have 2 more fouls to give. 39.5 seconds remaining in the ball game. Cortez will take a breather here. Trying to save him from his 6th and last foul. It put corner shot, no goal. Ingres gets the offensive rebound. Ingres, no! Alaska would maybe 25 seconds away from building a 2-0 lead in this best of 7 series.
Walking foul on number 21, penalty.
So kanina pa na sa penalty ang Purefoods. And the Aces, can they smell a victory here? Are they 24.5 seconds away from clinching game 2?
Still important for Jeffrey Carriazo to make these free throws. Incidentally, even if Carriazo makes a second, it's still a 2-possession ball game. Anything's still possible para sa Chunkee Giants. Points pa lang si James Yap.
I'm telling you, you go to the Big Dome, you're going to see 1,000 of our PBA Astig Bay. They are all over the place. Not kidding. Everywhere I look, they are there.
It's really for your eyes to roost.
Substitution, Raymond Luneta for Tony Matthews.
Speak for yourself.
Warning on Alaska for delaying the
All the
game.
time. So we have 24.5 seconds to go dito sa 4th quarter. The Purefoods, they're in a bind here. Down by 6 points. Less than 30 seconds remaining. James Yap for 3. No, that might do it. That might do it. The Alaska Aces are on their way to gaining a 2-0 lead in this best of 7 series. The team that had to go through the quarterfinals against the Coca-Cola Tigers are ahead 2 games to none against the team that was seeded along with the San Miguel Beermen. So it's going to be major regrouping time for Purefoods. As for Alaska, they are going to sleep well tonight.